Okay, well, obviously we were really happy with the way we started off conference play on the road against a really good, well-coached Kansas State team, and really proud of our kids for how hard they played defensively, forcing 34 turnovers in a conference game. Really hard to do. I thought we played extremely hard. Thought the press was very good. I thought we had good point guard play. We kind of ham and egged it between Kai and Ashley. Obviously, Charlie had a big night for us with 27. We turned the ball over too much. We had 17 turnovers, nine in the first quarter, which is bad. And we've got to do a better job. I mean, it's 2-3 zone. It ain't rocket science. We got to take care of the ball better and make better reads and better decisions. But other than that, just really pleased with how well we played. We missed a breakaway layup with about 2.5 minutes to go there in the third quarter. That would have put us up 24, and instead it opened up the door for them to go on a 12-0 run to get it to 12 going into the fourth quarter. I was proud of how we responded after they cut it to 5, though, and so it was a good win. I gave the kids an extra day at Christmas, so we didn't come back till the 27th. We were originally scheduled the 26th, and just felt like they had earned it. They deserved it. It's such a hard time right now with this, pandemic and the discipline these kids have to go back to a room by themselves. Not a lot of socializing going on, and so just really wanted them to be with their family. So they got back yesterday. We worked out last night. We watched film this morning. We're shooting now. We'll come back and practice this afternoon at 4. Got to get ready for really, really tough, I think. Lamar team play really hard, really are an extension of their coach, Aqua Franklin, who I recruited to A&M way back in 2004. It's a great story, and she's was a great player for us. Obviously was part of my first staff at Mississippi State. So proud of her for helping us the time she was there and helping us get that thing going. And then she went back to Kansas, and now she's the head coach at Lamar. So I couldn't be more proud of her. Kind of been and seen her journey as a player and a coach. So got to get ready to play because her team is a real extension of her. She was a tough, hard-nosed, physical, aggressive point guard. Always played with a chip on her shoulder, and was my kind of kid. So we got to get ready for that team tomorrow night on basically 2 days of practice.
Questions for Coach and Charlie? Danny, go ahead.
Hey, Vic. I'm a little curious with Texas deciding no fans tomorrow. You guys coming off an extended break. I'm sure Lamar sent their kids home for Christmas as well for a little bit. Is this a game that you feel is necessary to play, or would you guys have been better off with everything going on just waiting until the third when the Iowa State game?
I really do feel like it's a game that's necessary. I don't want to go into conference play not having come back. And, we were playing really good, Danny, when we broke for Christmas. I almost hated that, it was that time of year where we sent everybody home. So I thought we kind of made the turn a little bit as far as how hard you have to play defensively and how good we were chemistry-wise defensively. So I hated to see us at that point, but it was necessary for sure. But I've never gone into a conference game after Christmas without playing somebody beforehand. So obviously when we scheduled it, Danny, we didn't know that we were going to be in this situation. They were going to not allow fans at the game. So that's a decision way above my pay grade, and I just got to get this team ready to go. So.
Charlie, how do you get up for a game? How are you guys going to make your own energy with no fans in the stands? It's going to be a unique situation, I'm sure, for you.
Yeah, I mean, in the previous games, we didn't have too many fans. So, I mean, having no fans, I feel like it's just going to be us having to provide our own energy. Us being the energy and coaches for ourselves on the court when we can't hear coach, obviously we'll probably hear him a little bit more. But we're just gonna have to just play hard and this is a time for us to work on things that we need to work on going into conference play.
John Howell, go ahead.
Coach, Charlie just mentioned this is a game you guys that they want to work on some things. What do you want to see them work on in this game? And Charlie, how hard how much did you guys need that break with like what Coach said, with everything that's going on? Was it needed?
Yeah, definitely needed that break. I felt like with our families and stuff like that, with the pandemic going on, it's hard to socialize. Like Coach said, it's a boring time, but it's definitely a time for us to be smart and understand that we all have to be healthy in order to have a season. So definitely feel like that break was needed, but we do understand now, like it's the second half of the season, so we got to get ready for this.
John, what was the part for me? I'm sorry.
Just what you want to see them work on in this
we,
game?
We just watched film of us at K-State, 17 turnovers, our zone offense, where we're out of position, what our reads are that we're missing. And, hopefully we'll take that from film onto the floor tonight and then into games in the future. I think, it's not the last game we're going to see zone. And so I've got to coach better, teach better. And our kids have to execute a little bit better. 9 turnovers in the first quarter against the 2-3 zone, and a lot of them were unforced. And so we've just got to make some better decisions. So I am interested in us getting better and making some adjustments with our team, because I know what's coming down the pipe, and we've got to fix some things.
Mark, go ahead.
Can't hear you, Mark.
Sorry, yeah. Will you have Celeste Taylor and Gaston tomorrow?
We'll have Gaston. I don't know about Celeste right now.
And I guess this is for both of you. Charlie, sometimes you look frustrated with the 2 and 3 defenders on you. What do you have to do to overcome that? I mean, it's not going to stop, I assume, the way people play you.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, just trusting my teammates and know it's going to come. I mean, from here on out, trusting my teammates and looking for them when they're open, because if there's 2 or 3 people on me, they're open. So I have to make a better skip pass or make a better read off the dribble. And I think that's what happened a lot of times when we played K-State. I was in a rush. I didn't really get the pass there, or I would travel, so just making better decisions, knowing that I have to trust my teammates when the double does come. So just doing a better job at that. I feel like I'm getting better at that as practice goes on.
Going to go to a couple last ones, Andrea and then Danny.
Hey guys, so 2 questions. One, can you just talk about what each of you did during the Christmas break, and also specifically what your New Year's resolutions might be for this team and related to basketball?
Well, I didn't do too much during the break. Just probably slept and, ate some gumbo or something that my mom cooked. That's about it. Had a good time off and spent a lot of time with my family. That was it. New Year's resolution, just taking care of the ball. I feel like we learned a lot when we watched film this morning, taking care of the ball. We had a lot of unforced turnovers in 2-3 zones. So just taking better job of handling the ball, getting better fast break points, and just winning.
Well, I made a big pot of gumbo Christmas Eve for the family, and I took my son duck hunting one morning, and other than that, I spent a lot of time at the house. Just I've been so careful, and I just didn't want to really risk anything. I would just kill me if something were to happen. I couldn't be around these kids, Andrea. I love coaching them. I love seeing them every day. They may not, there might be at times during the day when they may not think that I do, but I do. I love seeing them. I miss them. And I love coaching this team. They're a real, they're great kids, for Charlie. I mean, all our kids have great families. So being at home at that time and being around their families at Christmas, I just felt like was a real necessity. And I was glad that they were able to do that. Not everybody across the country sent kids home for Christmas, but I really felt like it was necessary, and I wanted our kids to do that because I know how close all these kids are with their families. So had some good downtime. Again, spent some good quality time with my family. If you saw the pictures on Twitter, I got coerced into wearing some pajamas that were way, way off base for me. But, you know, the sacrifices we make, y'all, it's what we do as we get older. And so it was all in good fun. I enjoyed that. But I called Charlie late Christmas night. You know, she's a night owl, so am I. Neither one of us sleeps, it doesn't seem like. And we visited, you know, 15, 20 minutes at 10:45, 11 o'clock at night. But I hadn't really talked to him, and wanted to visit with him. And so we had a good conversation, and I'm anxious to get back.
Last one, Danny.
Vic, you'd mentioned this a couple weeks ago when Brooke came with Louisiana Tech, and then I guess this experience with Aqua at Lamar. What has it been like coaching against people you recruited / coached? And do you see any coaches on this Texas roster that you have right now?
Yeah. You know, it just means I'm getting old, Danny. That's all I can say when you start coaching against former players, especially now when they're head coaches. Or Brooke was somebody I recruited really hard and tried to get to Arkansas. And, you know, it just means that you're getting old in some regards. I do see kids on our current team that I think will be good coaches. Obviously, you know, Dominique, Jazz, Katera, Blair, those kids all were kids that when I was coaching, I thought, you know, they'll be good coaches. And a lot of it starts with the accountability piece. You know, I found Aqua in a pickup game. She was playing at I believe she played at John Tyler. And I went to a pickup. I went to a open gym at Tyler Junior College, and I'm walked in and I'm watching the game, and the best player on the floor is this little, you know, 5 foot whatever point guard, and I'm like, who is that kid? Because I was kind of the junior college. That was one of my recruiting territories, was all the junior college, and specifically in Texas. And so I'm like, who is that kid? And they said, well, that's Aquanisha Franklin. I go, Aquanisha Franklin? They go, yeah, she comes over from John Tyler and scrimmages with our girls about 3 times a week. Well, as I watched the game, I mean, she was the best player in the gym. And so I went back to A&M, and I remember telling our staff about it, and they're like, oh, no, she's not, you know, she's not even on the Houston Elite, their top team. The kid that was on their point guard on their top team came to Texas. And I'm like, I'm just telling y'all, that kid reminds me of a point guard that had played at LSU, trying to think of her name, but she was a little bitty guard also, but was a hell of a player. And I had to play against her at Arkansas, and she reminded me so much of her. And so I said, okay, I got it. I'm going back. So I went back in a week. Same deal. Best player in the gym. Motor off the chart. Chip on her shoulder. Made every right pass, every right decision, didn't turn it over, made every right shot. And so I came back again, and I told him again, I said, hey, somebody else needs to go. I've been twice. That kid's the real deal. And so somebody else went back. We ended up signing her. I remember I'll tell you how this happened. We came off the floor, and if I'm not mistaken, it was the Texas game. And they had just beaten us. And Coach Blair looked at me in the hallway and said, go call Aquanisha and offer her. And so it was in February. We didn't offer her early. We didn't sign her early. Watched her throughout the season. She had like 32 or 38 in like a playoff game, a regional quarterfinal game. And she had been over to several games and watched us play. Wonderful family. I mean, unbelievable. and her cousin Junebug played wide receiver at Mississippi State, and she kind of helped recruit him there when she was with me there. He actually was committed to Oklahoma State as a junior. That's a whole completely different story. But anyway, Aqua ends up being a four-year starter for us. And I think, she's just a tremendous story and a great, really motivation for so many kids out there. Because she didn't have the right number next to her name, and yet she was good enough. And she kept proving it over and over and over again, even after she got there. And just a tremendous floor general, competitor. I loved having her on my staff, worked extremely hard and worked with the same vigor and intensity that she played for us for. So I always look at her with tremendous admiration and fondness because I saw that kid at a very young age, and I know the impact that she's had in my career, and hopefully that I've had in her life a little bit in regards to both her playing and her coaching.